Hi, Sex Drive Harriet. I'm 3 years sober and just realized I've been using sex like I used to use drugs. I've slept with 40 plus people since getting clean. Do I need to get sober from shagging too?
You can tell that is from a woman, can't you? Apart from her name, because no man would kind of ask you about, am I doing too much? Am I having too much sex? But yeah, we have a phenomena called cross addiction, where you go from using maybe alcohol or coke to using men and sex, you know, to get that internal drugstore, you know, zhuzhed up. And I guess, you know, there are other fellowships that deal with sex because it is an issue, because an addict can really use anything or anyone.
Can I ask, why do you think it is that women question themselves on this and men don't?
I think it's because of society, you know, the idea that a woman will sleep with 40 guys, you know, because in fact they're meant to be looking for life partners and, you know, to settle down and love. And there's nearly always an assumption that a woman is looking for love when she's having sex, although I'm not entirely sure that's exactly the case.
Is she shagging too much, actually? Is she shagging too much? I don't think there's such a thing as...
I don't think there is either. And, you know, you find people who are at the end of the life and they're asking what they should have done and they, you know, what they regret not doing, you know, in their lives, and they say they feel they should have had more sex. So
really? Is that a
I don't
thing?
think she's going to have that problem when she gets to her latter years. Yeah. But it depends on your intentionality. It depends on what you want. If you just want to have sex with lots of people, that's okay. If you're looking for a partner, maybe you should reflect on what you're doing. You know, are you using people? Are you open about what you're doing? Are they open about what they're doing? Is it one night stands? Or are you multiple dating? Are you just getting a kick out of just being, just attention and being desired? It's your intentionality.
I'm a big believer in try before you buy.
Right, that, you know, of course.
I think it's important.
Yeah, but I think also know what you're buying before you try it in the shop.
I'm lost on that one.
Okay, but you know what you're buying. You know, if you're going out and you're just meeting somebody and having sex with them,
I get it now. I get it now.
You know, and you don't really know who you're dealing with or who they are. You know, you're inviting people into an intimate part of your life.
Do you think it can be based on where you are in your recovery, damaging at the beginning, but then later on, powerful? Like a, you know, power to the poo-tang.
Power, it could be power to the poo-tang. You know, it just depends on one's intentionality. It depends what you're getting out of it. You know, you need to think about what you're actually looking for.
So validation, a bang, just because you love to bang. Woo.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go. So depends how you feel.
Yeah.
High Sex Drive Harriet. I definitely don't relate to what you just said at all. Okay, so next question from Rock Bottom Ryan. I'm really proud of that name. I'm dating someone new and they just told me they're in recovery too. I feel weirdly competitive about it. Like, whose rock bottom was worse? Who's doing the most work on themselves? Why am I... Oh my God. Do you like how neither of us moved?
Why would we?
Is that an omen?
No.
Well, we stayed poised. I still really like your jingle jangle bracelet.
Maybe too jingly jangly.
It's fine.
It's okay.
What's happened?
Question. Rock Bottom Ryan. I'm dating someone new and they just told me they're in recovery too. I feel weirdly competitive about it. Like, whose rock bottom was worse? Who's doing the most work on themselves? Why am I like this?
Could it be a defensive tactic? I mean, are you dating this person or are you competing against them? I mean, I don't know. I would kind of question what's going on there.
What would someone get out of a situation like that, though? Because I feel like you always get something out of a situation.
One-upmanship. It's
Self-righteous.
it's being competitive and self-righteous and thinking you're doing it the right way.
Why?
vulnerability, want to kind of, it's defense against vulnerability.
I'm sorry.
Is that too hard a concept for you to grasp today, Anna?
I've been writing a lot recently, and my brain's just
okay.
it's just a potato. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a defense against vulnerability. So instead of engaging, you're kind of competing.
Okay, I can understand that. I think something that I have heard, and in one relationship witnessed myself, was that when dating someone in recovery, because you kind of talk the same language and understand each other, there can be instances of looking at someone and going, you're being resentful. Ooh, someone needs to go talk to their therapist. Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you experienced that personally?
Would you say that that person making those statements is taking somebody else's inventory?
Yes, I would definitely say that. Yes.
I guess you just have to reflect on what's coming up for you yourself. You know, what's your internal world? Why do you have the need to kind of start pointing the finger and competing? And, you know, how helpful is that to your relationship?
It's so irritating being able to look at your own behavior and understand it. Like if I were rock bottom Ryan, I would feel as though I was doing that to feel better about myself because I felt insecure.
Yes, and you're kind of defending against any vulnerability. You're just looking outside yourself for why you feel uncomfortable and starting to blame your partner, which I think is a very standard behavior.
Yeah, standard, yes. I sometimes miss the whole ignorance is bliss, not being able to reflect on my actions thing. That's not true. I don't miss it. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But do you think that people can overthink their behavior also when they're sober and woketh?
You mean what that they're reflective about what they're doing?
Yeah, overly so.
I don't know. You know, it's interesting. I don't know if that's the case. I don't think it's the case with Ryan in this instance, you know, because she's foreshortening the relationship in some way. If it's just going to be a competitive thing around, you know, rock bottoms in recovery, you know,
that's icky.
It's not connecting. It's yeah.
I don't want to sound judgmental. I shouldn't have said that's icky.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Next one. My partner is California sober, weed only, and I'm fully abstinent. They think I'm judging them. I am, but I'm trying not to. How do I make this work? Cocaine Carol.
Yeah, I mean, it's like being a little bit pregnant.
Can I just ask, how did you keep a straight face when I said Cocaine Carol?
I think it's quite easy.
Okay.
But, you know, you a little bit sober, California sober, a little bit sober, a little bit,
Yeah,
you know.
I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, you're
bullshit.
sober or you're not sober. Yeah. You know, this idea that, oh, yeah, you're just doing these other little things.
Yeah.
Why would you want to make it work, Cocaine Carol, is what I'd have to ask.
It's the sobriety equivalent of just the tip.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you can still get pregnant.
Yeah.
Is that a horrible analogy?
Terrible.
It's terrible. It's like when you say you don't want pudding.
Yeah.
And then other people order pudding and you eat off of their plate.
That could be an analogy, but yeah.
Right. Cool. Next question. My boyfriend is obsessed with fixing me and I've realized I quite like being seen as broken. Is this bad? That's from Project Penny.
That's really amusing. Is this bad? Yes, on some level, I think.
And
you're manipulating the scenario. You're playing to some kind of prototype. You know, you enjoy being fixed rather than fixing yourself.
This is something that I have
Personal experience of.
when I was drinking, and I'd say in my first year of recovery, maybe 2 years of recovery, I definitely wanted to be looked after. So I can understand Project Penny.
Yeah.
But now, I don't know, I just feel like I'm too proud. I don't want to, because a guy can't fix me. I don't need fixing. We don't need fixing.
Yeah.
We're fine. You're fine as you are. And yes, it's bad.
Well, it's not, it is what it is. She is where she is.
Yeah, I
That's
shouldn't
it.
say bad. I'm being such a judgmental piece of shit.
She is where she
today.
is. But there is something about this idea of being broken and helpless and wanting rescuing. And, people get tired of that. Partners get tired of rescuing.
Yeah, I don't think it's yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Ollie's just asked me to finish my thought and I don't have one. Fucking hell. Okay, well this one kind of leads on to it. Oh, the thought's back. Right.
Okay, great.
So just an example, when I was drinking, I was dating a guy and it had only been a week and I wanted him to come to the hospital with me to A&E because I had food allergies. It was actually alcohol-induced edema and he didn't. And that's like a prime example of I just wanted someone to, tuck me in and spoon feed me applesauce. And,
Yeah. As a friend once said, Mummy's not coming.
You are the grown-up.
That's right.
I'm afraid to say it.
You're the grown-up in the room.
No one's going to save you.
Yeah.
Okay, so full of hope today.
Yeah. Some hard messages.
Yeah. I realized that I go into victim mode a lot. I act hard and pouty and withdraw affection like a child. When I snap out of it, I feel completely different and embarrassed. But why can't I stop doing it in the moment? Sulky Sarah.
Well, sulky Sarah, I think it's good that at least you know that when you snap out of it, that it wasn't really good behavior. There's something, maybe there's an early trauma and you're kind of clicking into some kind of resentment and you haven't quite learned to emotionally manage that yet, but it's a work in progress and that will come. But it's good that when you snap out of it, you can kind of reflect on it with your partner or apologize even.
Or take it to other people sometimes.
Yeah.
I call you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think, I don't know, my not that I am in no position to give advice, but my personal advice that I would give to sulky Sarah is like reflect, don't react. I find that, I really feel like the power is in the pause. Like hit the pause button. If you're feeling something, I don't think that you can trust it right off the bat. I feel like you really have to take a step back, ring someone who's ever so slightly more sane than you, insane than you, and talk it through and look at your part and don't blow it up.
Yeah, it's a kind of childish response. And that's where it kind of ties in with maybe with the early trauma. And sometimes you may not quite be able to control that. And it is good if you can just, as you say, pause or, don't react immediately, pause, make a call, and then you can respond a bit later. Because sometimes you're just internalizing in your head and you kind of don't really know what's happening.
Yeah, listen to some Cardi B. Okay, next question from Misunderstood Molly. My partner is getting jealous of how much I have in common with other sober men in recovery, and I don't have that with him. They think there's something going on, but I'm just being honest about my recovery. How do I handle this? Oh, I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. I have a feeling I know
what am I going to say?
That it is about your motivation with these men in recovery.
Yeah. In recovery quite often they suggest that you hang out more with your own sex because, there's a little thing called intrigue that happens. And it's interesting. It seems to be quite a lot of men in recovery that our questioner has connections with.
I mean, obviously there's, different non-heteronormative relationships, but from personal experience and the experience of other women that I know, there are an abundance of men in recovery who are very interested in you in your first year in particular. When you're all... Yes. And I think it can take time to assess your relationships with men. Yeah. And to realize what it is that you are getting out of that situation. Yeah. If I'm going to some dude that I've just met over you or a girlfriend of mine for something, sometimes there can be something behind that. Of,
Yeah.
I want you to, I need your help.
Yeah, like, oh, you're such a great guy.
You're so
you're so
smart.
strong and you're so clever, and
This reminds me of
you can help me and hold my hand.
So I just have to say, I have to interject here. Sally, I was in a little bit of a dating situation not so long ago, and Sally's advice to me was, darling, just machine gun compliments at him. Just machine. Oh, look at you sitting there. You're doing so well. So there you go. Something else to, put in your pipe and smoke.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've become so hyper independent that I've made myself completely unavailable for a relationship. It gets really comfortable being alone. How do I let someone in? And that is from Get the Fuck Out Gary.
Yeah, and I think that can be a real issue, because you're going from one way of relating where you're chaotic or whatever, or you're a victim, and then you kind of build up this strength and you're kind of connected in to whatever life and fellowship and kind of controlling your own destiny. And that is a real problem. How do you let somebody in? Because it's just another way of being self-sufficient.
Things get cozy.
Yeah.
And also I feel like people, I'm not saying that you've done this, Gary, but I feel like people can put up with things in early recovery sometimes, or in their drinking days, that they wouldn't put up with down the line.
Yeah.
And then you build this sort of fabulous fucking fortress around yourself. And then letting someone in, it can just be like, why? I'm fulfilled.
Yeah. But is Gary fulfilled? I mean, he's concerned.
Gary's concerned.
Gary's concerned. Maybe talking to a therapist that, some of it could be about low self-esteem, or...
It's scary.
Exactly, kind of finding how mad you are in relation to somebody else, or how difficult intimacy can be. So, talking to somebody around it could be a first step.
And Sally's number will pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
Can I just say, you're 100% right, obviously, because even my response about the fabulous fortress was defensive.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Our final question. I think you'll like this one. I shagged my therapist's other client. We met in the waiting room. This is bad, right? And I've called this person Waiting Room Wanda.
Yeah. It's not great, Wanda. It's... you need to disclose to your therapist, because in fact there's a conflict of interest there that your therapist will need to know about. Yes. And, I don't know if your therapist will like the waiting room being a pickup joint, but... Genuinely, yeah, you need to disclose, because...
This wasn't me, by the way.
I know
I just
it wasn't
want to express
you.
that.
But it's something to discuss with your therapist. It may be that it's a serious relationship, that's whatever, but it's like... What is going on that you're kind of cruising in the waiting room and connecting with people, and and there's a conflict of interest because both of you are a client of the same therapist, and so
Sally, I love you, but you are such a cock block. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us for another Q&A episode. You can get your questions in at Wet Wind Dry Pod on our Instagram channel. Sally O'Sullivan, thank you yet again for enlightening us.
Thank you.
Do you feel enlightened?
Yeah.
That was for the audience.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay.
I hope you do. I hope you do.
See you again. Did I nail it?
Oh.
Nothing's ever good enough for Ollie. Oh, my Lord. He's just angry because he had to get chocolate fingers because I forgot them.